Okay, Sagittarius. How I read is I do the general cards first, and then I'll do the clarifiers just to tie it all in. I will start reading just the general cards out just to give you an idea of where things are headed. I don't see any major arcana for you. Actually, a lot of this just sort of minor arcana, so it feels like it's just kind of the day-to-day elements that you might have already been dealing with, and nothing that's going to be substantially impacting you for this month. But either way, and again, this resonates. It may not be your story currently. It may be something that some of you are moving into. You're all in timelines. You're not all making decisions on a Monday or Friday, however it resonates. Excuse me. Okay, so how we are starting out is the Seven of Wands does indicate that there may be something you're trying to push through. It is something of a resilience card and next to the King of Wands. So it's something you're trying to take action on or be in an authority of, and it's certainly visionary, I would say, with the King of Wands. Now, there is something, so it could be entrepreneurial or something business correlated there, but Three of Cups, there's something here of either a gathering of some sort or something that is involving like a happier time here after going through something that was a little bit isolating. So again, some of you might see this as extra money that's also coming in, and that's what the celebration is about. And certainly with the Wheel of Fortune connected here, this does indicate that there is something here, a timeline shift. So there is some kind of shift in your favor in terms of finances. Page of Cups, definitely in a happy place, and it does feel like news is coming in, and it feels like after a time of strife or conflict. But definitely you're getting some kind of help, and it feels like you did not have that help initially, and it feels like that might have been the concern. So there is something, as I mentioned, that's rapidly coming in here with the Knight of Swords. This does, kind of enter in communication. Now, this could be communication from somebody who is Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. Certainly water sign is coming up here also. In for me, actually more on the water sign, I would say, actually. But there could be some kind of a communication there as well. And then we also have the Four of Wands. So whatever's impacting you in the month of May seems to be on the home front, seems to be a happier time, seems to be like a celebration of some sort that is involving possibly Aries involved here as well. But I do feel like you're in control of the situation or in control of yourself. There is definitely some kind of substantial win for you, though, like substantial enough that it feels good, is what I mean. It feels good for you and strengthens your foundation. So let's go back into the cards here with the Seven of Wands. So, like I mentioned, I do feel like on an overview here, this is a card of resilience. It also represents that it's the defensive sort of posture as well. So it feels like you're fighting to protect your interests or the home or something like that. And it does still feel like, you're maintaining your standing in some area of life, but it is also personal growth, but it's through challenge. So there might have been increased competition around you or some kind of external pressure, something like that. But I do feel like you are coming through as a leadership card here with the King of Wands. So this tells me that you've got a clear vision, you've got strong will, you take charge of destiny, and you do the things that you desire most to do. Hello, Steph. Hi, Shivaji. Sorry if I mispronounce. But again, this is also, taking sharp notice of the things that are important to you. And again, usually a fast-paced energy with that Knight of Swords that's coming in over here. But like I said, a very visionary energy and really pushed through on something. So direct action and direct communication, it's that kind of thing. Decisions being made quickly, and I feel like you shift in your circumstances rather quickly as well. But it does feel like some kind of a turnaround in some aspect of your life that has required you to make a quick decision. Now, I do feel like also Queen of Cups, you've got some level of emotional awareness here as well. It does bring emotional healing, intuition to the forefront here, and it does also kind of ask you to balance out, your drive with those emotional aspects. So again, there's compassion, but there's also emotional clarity with this energy. And hi, Shivaji. Yes, I will. I will ask about that too for sure at the end here. But I do feel like you're getting some kind of emotional clarity here, and maybe this is about a communication of some sort that he's either maybe even invited you to a situation or something here with the Three of Cups. But either way, there's a potential for deepening, your relationships, friendship, or otherwise. or in your community, whatever this is, you're deep in that connection in some way. The potential is there. Now, I do feel like you've got financial stability. Like I said, Nine of Pentacles is showing up here. So this does indicate that there is real comfort in some way because there's been a period of hard work and resilience there with the Seven of Wands. So you're managing your resources quite well. And I do feel like this is good energy for you overall. So it's like a reward for some kind of effort they put in. And which is leading to a level of independence. Now, we also have that followed up by the Wheel of Fortune. So it's like doubly good because this is also adding to that spark of luck and destiny playing a role. And it does mean it's like a turning, it's a big shift, maybe a little further out, but it is still, just because it's a clarifier, but it still indicates this is a life cycle where there's change that's inevitable. And it does mean that it is going to be a fortuitous moment for you, something in the positive, especially with the following, bringing in good information. So I would still say, it's some kind of major win or unexpected opportunity for growth that's coming in for you. But I do feel like it is a new emotional perspective of some sort here because of the Page of Cups. But, and just to be open to some kind of new emotional experience in for sure. It's like you're discovering new emotional connections, things that bring you joy or satisfaction, things along that line. I do feel like you need to choose your battles wisely. Five of Swords. So there may be some moments here where you might be pulled into a situation where it's just unnecessary drama and a little, not really a victory for anybody because it's just sort of a stalemate, battle. Nobody wins. So just be energy on that. It does feel like it could be in around something that's relating around the, giving and the receiving sort of aspect of something there. So either, I feel like you might be giving to somebody or you're on the receiving end. But either way, there is going to be something that balances out as far as equalizing the financial aspect. And again, this could be somebody giving back and you giving back into a situation which was probably in the past not as reciprocal. It wasn't something that both parties gave equally, or at least it felt unfair in some way. And I feel like that's changing. Now we've got, like I said, the Nine of Pentacles. So it feels like you're in a pretty good position, and as financially for sure, there's a lot of stability, especially with that Emperor coming through as well. It feels like you're on top of the world in some way. So Four of Wands is also authority and control and structure and discipline. It's all of those things. So it also tells me you've got a firm foundation and control in certain areas of your life that are important to you, especially relating around personal projects, things of that nature. This is also a time to step back into leadership, with more confidence if you have not been in that position because you are able to, you've got a lot of things, a lot of backing, a foundation that's really good for you that's going to help you to achieve goals. Again, hardship, or at least that part of it is over. So there is something, Steph. Hi, Kate. No, Kate, I am not. Nope, I am not. Yeah. But either way, Ten of Swords is something that kind of speaks to, an ending where you've either hit rock bottom or something was very painful, or there's a realization of something here where it was more of a finality. It was a lot of emotional pain anyway, either way. So it just feels like this is you surrendering to that. And this is where you're starting to get ready for some kind of transformation. And again, it's almost like there's an event or, hi, Kate. No, just me. My voice? Oh my gosh. Actually, most people say that my voice is very feminine. They like my voice. I don't know. um, yeah, no, it's all good. Thanks, though. Appreciate the support. But Ten of Swords, like I said, is still in that process of releasing. So you're getting ready for some big new beginnings here. And again, this could be around mental aspects, or this could be in around, connections and verbiage, that kind of thing. So I just feel like either way, you've got really good destiny cards here. Nine of Pentacles, like I said, still speaks to, and with the Wheel of Fortune, below that. Really good combination for the theme of a turning point in your finances. So it's like things are starting to balance out in a really amazing way for you. I think you're really strategic in the way that you deal with finances. And again, wherever this unfair exchange for finances was, that would be the part that I think really is highlighted here. So it's either that you weren't getting that, but somewhere along the line, it just feels like that give and take there wasn't a fair exchange around something financially. But I do feel like that's going to change. That even in terms of relationships in May, I still feel like there's a little bit of a mix there. You will still have some really good, stuff coming in, but there's also a little bit of a conflict in here as well. Hi, MTRL. But either way, I would still say, you find support and companionship, and it helps you to navigate any challenges. And this is a small challenge, whatever this is, the Five of Swords. Ten of Swords was the bigger one, of course, and that's sort of the conflict you pretty much wrapped it up and have gone through. But I still feel like the Five of Swords is still about a little bit of an unresolved conflict that's still here. And I feel like maybe people aren't being entirely honest with you emotionally in some connection. But I do feel like you do have a lot of supportive love and faith and emotional connections. So in May, I think things will be lighter. And there's a lot more transparency. And again, even when we kind of flip back to the King of Wands here, this is still that energy of, empowerment and leadership and you taking charge of your life, more confidence. Like I said, you're more ambitious and ready to make things happen. So because of that, that's where I feel like that drive, that focus is where it's allowing you to achieve in terms of personal achievements. And again, I feel like you're recognizing your own independence here because you're just showing up here for yourself with comfort and self-reliance. Um, so either way, like I said, I just feel like this is a journey where, there might have been some emotional healing here, but it seems like it's conflict of words. But you have a lot of supportive connections, like I say, and I feel like there's some kind of social or something that's going to be taking place here in the month of May. And you kind of resume this role of being back in charge again, with that leadership energy with the Emperor. And I feel like there might have been some emotional exhaustion from the pain of the past, still lingering, but overall, really good energy, like I said. And I just feel like you're back on with your ambitions and you're closing those chapters out with the Ten of Swords. So I guess the best theme here I would say is leadership, compassion by the side here, and whether that's you or someone else coming in that's kind of supporting you. But either way, I feel like you're going into a beginning of a new cycle here with a lot more emotional intelligence. So that's what I have for you. And hopefully that gives you a little bit of it into the month of May. And I'm just going to answer one little question here for, sorry, one more second here. Sorry, it was Shivaji. Okay, what's happening for Shivaji with romance in the future? Shivaji for romance in the near future. Shivaji Patil, love relationship in the near future. What's happening? Okay, Two of Pentacles clarified by Strength card, Knight of Wands. Okay, well that's a good start. And Three of Cups, Queen of Cups. Okay, well it does look like there is something positive here. All right, so I'm going to go through it individually first, just to give you an idea of what is kind of happening. The Two of Pentacles is almost like, I don't know if money has been a theme here, but Two of Pentacles could be juggling a lot, or this could be juggling a lot of tasks or a lot of things as far as, maybe your workload has been a factor here in terms of your love life, or somehow something has been an issue there. We all have the Knight of Wands, and again, that's more of a love interest. This is something that's coming out, someone that's not really steady, but it is still flirty energy. And then the Three of Cups, of course, is that energy that speaks to, can sometimes indicate that there's been like a third party involvement or something, but it does also indicate that there could be something that's worth celebrating here, an event or something you're also attending. And then when we get, and again, I'll tie it all together, but the Queen of Cups is certainly speaking to kind of a water sign energy. And what's happening in love in its entirety is what I would, if I'm going to pull together, I'm going to say that, like I said, work seems to be some kind of an issue here. There's been a bit of a balancing act. So trying to get together with somebody has been difficult. It's like there's been something here that, just juggling a lot of different aspects of him, her, however it resonates. But also could be, balancing between emotions and external responsibilities here as well. Because the strength card still indicates that there's a lot of passion or a lot of inner strength, patience, kind of thing. And your approach to situations, I feel, is fairly gentle and composed, but love is built on emotional resilience and mutual respect. And I feel like that's what the strength card is sort of speaking to. So, as far as your approach to relationships, I feel like it's a very compassionate approach, but lots of energy around passion for sure. Kind of impulsive energy, though, when we get to the Knight of Wands. So I'm going to say that there's a lot of excitement, a lot of romantic passion, that kind of thing, and things moving quickly, but it's a struggle to kind of get it to be something more long term. So I don't know if that actually is where things are at for you, but that's what I'm getting off the cards. So again, there is some kind of social or something here that may be involved or important, and that's where I definitely feel like this connection that is here for you that seems to represent something of a connection that's quite happy, like it's mutual support, it's shared happiness in some way. But I feel like if you are meeting this person, it's going to be at a social gathering, or meeting them again in some kind of social gathering. But I feel like this person has emotional depth and nurturing, and again, it's a deep emotional bond, and there's an important emotional thing going on here that kind of speaks to me about emotional availability. So even though there is that potential, I feel like there's something here that kind of speaks to or suggests that, again, Sagittarius, Leo, Aries sort of energy, fiery sort of energy here as well, that's coming up, that you're connected with. And again, lots of passion, but it still indicates, and again, it could be fire sign with water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio influence. But again, there's lots of emotional depth. My only thing is that I feel like there's something here about this being on again, off again. There is a sense of, really turned on by this person as far as adventurous kind of energy, but it still feels like there's something here that's kind of off about the timing. And I don't know why, but it just feels like, hit and miss, can't quite get together or something like that. So take it as it resonates, but that's what I see here in the cards. So keep moving forward, guys. We'll see you in the next read.